Hi guys, and welcome to Redbrick Gaming's review of Battlefield 1. I'm here with James Marvin, who reviewed the game. It's now up on our site. So James, what is Battlefield 1?
Well, Battlefield 1 is the latest entry, of course, in the acclaimed Battlefield series from a Swedish developer, DICE.
Are they Swedish?
Yeah, I think they're Swedish. Anyway.
Then,
I hope they're Swedish.
Who cares? Okay.
I'm pretty sure they're Swedish.
Yeah. It's a first-person shooter set in World War One.
Yep.
So that's a bit different from the modern shooters we have at the moment.
Yeah,
it's like Infinite Warfare coming out soon.
Well, it's very different to even a lot of World War II games that I've played, really, in a lot of ways. But...
Yeah, we haven't really seen a big AAA game for at least 10 years in the World War One setting, I think. Well, at least on console.
If you look on Wikipedia on Battlefield 1's page, it says like this is EA's first game set in World War One since Wings of Glory, which was released I think 20 years ago. Something stupid like that. It's really
so it's a big experimental jump for DICE and EA. So what do you think of it? How does it play? What's it like? What are the graphics like? Does it run okay? Does it work?
Well, I played it on PS4. That's the version that was reviewed.
Okay. Have you heard about any issues with the PS or the PC or the Xbox?
PC and Xbox, I've heard no server launch issues or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like it was with Battlefield 4. But obviously, PC people mainly will remember the launch of Battlefield 4 was horrendous.
Yeah.
Yeah, the servers basically didn't work. That was not the case with 1. There were a few server glitches where the server would be lag a lot. I experienced that quite a lot on launch day, but no disconnects, no crashes.
Okay.
I've experienced no major glitches or anything like that.
Yeah.
A couple of my friends said that they got their rank reset for a few hours when they came back. So clearly there's some kind of stress going on there, but I think,
for the most part,
it's completely fine.
So it works on PS4.
Yeah, PS4 version.
How does it play?
Yeah, it plays, obviously, I've said it in my review, it's not, everything in this game, despite the setting of World War One, it's more refined from the previous games than anything revolutionary. If you've played a Battlefield game, you will know how this game plays, essentially. Okay. Don't expect it to be slower because of the setting. It's pretty much the same pace unless you're playing as a sniper, which is usually the case. But it's if anything, in some ways, I'd say it's faster. Weirdly, in some ways,
right? Which is slightly strange, right? Because it's set in World War One, so you expect it to be a bit more slower.
It's don't expect to be holed up in trenches and stuff in the
killing someone every 5 minutes.
I'll be putting obviously footage over this, and you can see you are running around quite a lot, getting into vehicles, getting onto horses, literally slicing people down and everything like that. It is strangely fast paced for the setting, which some people won't like, but obviously if you like Battlefield, it won't bother you.
Yeah, and I've heard the graphics are beautiful.
Oh, literally, I think I gushed for about a good hour. A good paragraph on the written review about the graphics, just because DICE have nailed it just once again. A DICE Battlefield game always looks good, and they've outdone themselves, I think, once more with this one. Everything from the major stuff, obviously, texture work, weather effects, all that sort of stuff, but even the more subtle things that probably you won't notice unless you really pay attention, if you go prone into a very muddy kind of trench part,
when you just go on the floor, right?
You get back up and your gun is just caked in mud and the glisten.
Oh, that's awesome!
Such
it's minor detail.
Such minor details that DICE just get in there just to help you feel more immersed and everything like that. It's just fantastic. There are some of the literally. I think it's in Ballroom Blitz, the map where it's set around obviously a ballroom.
Yeah.
And there's a double rainbow on the map when it starts raining, because obviously the weather is a bit dynamic. And literally, I remember just staring at that, being like, "That looks fantastic."
Yeah.
And obviously that's the PS4 version, which is probably the equivalent of at most medium settings for a PC. So I can't imagine what it would look like on a high-end PC.
Yeah.
So,
but that's good. Yeah. So let's talk about. So the game is in 2 modes mainly: single player, multiplayer. Battlefield is known for its multiplayer, I think.
Yeah.
But it has had in the past good single player campaigns. Battlefield Bad Company 2, for example. So, how does the single player hold up?
In short, the best one since the Bad Company games by far.
Are the Bad Company games are they pretty much got the best campaigns? Do you think?
Out of the Battlefield series, 100%. I know, obviously, people who played 3 and 4. There are fans of those single players, but I personally...
Yeah, I don't think they're bad, but
I personally did not enjoy them for various reasons. But obviously Bad Company love those campaigns. Lots of character, lots of good writing, lots of good, just, great moments in those campaigns. And this time, it's not the same level as Bad Company, but it's a hell of a lot better than 3 and 4, and DICE have clearly learned a lot from doing those games, and a lot from feedback as well from fans. So this time, like, they're split up into like what they call war stories, where it's like 6 individual like perspectives through out the war. So you've got like one called Through Mud and Blood, where you're a tanker crew in France.
So for each war story, you're one
character,
one person.
Yeah, who's like in a different part of the war.
Sure.
In a different period.
Yeah.
In a different period, in a different like place.
Yeah.
So you got Through Mud and Blood in France, as a tanker crew. You've got Friends in High Places, an American pilot.
So on the pilot campaign, are all the missions?
No. This is the thing. Not all of them are set just like, it's not like the plane bit, the tank bit,
right,
the horse bit. Those bits do have parts where you are on the ground, like an infantryman.
Right. So the pilot campaign also has you on the ground.
Yeah, there are bits where you are on the ground.
Right. Okay. So have you got a German perspective?
See, this is one complaint actually that you've brought up. I didn't think about that. No, there is not any kind of like Axis viewpoint.
Because that would have been really great, I think.
And obviously, it's not like World War II, where obviously the Axis side were objectively the bad guys. Because obviously in World War I, it was a bit more.
Yeah, if you study the lead up to World War One, I mean, you might have heard about the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, but basically, after studying it for quite a few years, I don't think you can nail it down to one country's fault.
Yeah. However, the people you fight against aren't painted as like the devil kind of thing.
Right.
They are treated with somewhat as much respect as you can give an avatar that you shoot at, basically.
Yeah,
but they're not treated like Nazis in the World War II game, basically.
Yeah.
But all the campaigns are spectacular, I think. I've heard some stupid complaints about it, like stuff like, it doesn't treat World War One with respect, which I think is dumb, in my opinion. Of course, there are moments where it's very fantasized and a bit more, like superhero shooter stuff. Yeah. But I feel like obviously that's because it's a video game.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're getting offended about the representation of World War One from a video game, I think the creators of the video game know they're not representing the real life stories of World War One. It is a video game. It's an adaptation.
I do think from the outset as well, DICE did say like this is not an accurate representation of World War One. It is a bit.
Of course,
kind of alternate history.
It's a setting which they're inspired by for a video game.
They've taken a lot of liberties to just deliver a fun experience, and I feel like even though that's the case, you still get some very poignant and somber moments. Like
no spoilers.
No spoilers. I was about to say this for them, no spoilers. But like the end, like I mentioned in the podcast, the end of the Runner campaign is a very kind of emotional kind of ending. Yeah. The same for the Italian campaign as well, actually. So yeah, you do get those moments, and there's also moments like the Through Mud and Blood campaign where like you realise like the horrors of the war, how it affected people as well. So yeah, like it has all the horrible action when it's needed, but also DICE know when to turn it back down and be like, okay, no, this was a horrific conflict. And you may see that in the cutscenes. Obviously, the gameplay is literally like you're one guy killing a bunch of Germans. But
right, yeah. So I mean, so are there scenes of sort of horrific nature where you come back and you think, oh my goodness, like this happened? Like,
there's a bit in particular in the pilot campaign, Friends in High Places, where you crash land into no man's land, like between the trench warfare.
That sounds great.
and you literally see all of it, burnt forests, dark, dead bodies everywhere, you're literally just walking through it, and it's like, this is horrendous. Yeah. So there are bits like that. However, for the most part, it's just like shoot a bunch of Germans, shoot a bunch of not Italians, shoot a bunch of Austro-Hungarians, whatever.
So, what are there any issues about the campaign?
Just the length is the only issue I've got.
Short.
Too short by a long shot. I played on hard. Took me about 5-6 hours to complete, and that's mainly because there were some horrendous difficulty spikes that took me ages to get over. I know some people played it in normal, took about 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
So I feel like if DICE do something like this again, they need to like just make it a bit longer, a bit more fleshed out.
So as a person who only pretty much plays FPSs for their campaigns, would you recommend it to me?
as a single player only game, I could not recommend it, just based on the fact that you would fly through that campaign.
Okay.
If you're going to get it for single player only,
okay, so not right now, but in the future when it's cheap, would you recommend it? Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it for a full retail price.
Yeah.
But just
Flash out on the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about the main component of Battlefield 1. So the multiplayer. So this is mainly what people play Battlefield 4. So let's talk about it. So what tell us all about the multiplayer.
Multiplayer is, again, just absolutely fantastic. I found myself, staring at my TV screen till like 2 o'clock in the morning with all my friends on party chat, feeling like I'm back in year 8 or 9
that's
again.
Great, man.
Yeah, and I've not had that for a while with an online game.
Same.
Since about year 10 was the last time I had a game like that, and it's just fantastic. Like all the maps. I've not had a single map where I thought this is a bad map. I've had maps for a bit where I've been like, it's a bit frustrating this little bit, but I still like the map. Like I've never had a feeling of please not this map again. Like something like Operation Locker. I know people liked Operation Locker in 4, but it was just horrendous for me. I hated that map. Not a single one like that. My favourites go out to Amiens and Foul Fortress. Like the street alleyway combat of Amiens just gets so intense sometimes, with gas grenades going off everywhere. And the way melee's been worked into this one, obviously with like basically all the brutal melee kills and all that kind of stuff, it is just fantastic. And
are the melee kills like have you seen Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah, no, it's nothing like that. Like DICE did talk about like they've reworked the melee system. They haven't. Basically, what they've done is they've put in like a choice of melee weapons, and your melee weapon actually affects stuff like how much damage it does, how quick you can like hit throw with it, and whether or not it breaks wire and breaks wood, all kind of stuff. But it's essentially the same. If you hit them from the back, instant kill. From the front takes like 3 hits, and then you kill them.
Yeah.
But like the cinematic takedowns are cool as fuck. Just amazing. And of course, the behemoths, they're a welcome addition. They kind of like just spice up the end of the game. Like obviously, enemy teams losing, they get like the massive airship or the dreadnought or the armored train.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's not many a time I've seen where that's made a massive difference. If I'm honest, it's usually it comes.
So so are these zeppelins and things? Are they actively shooting the other team?
No, you can. Enemy players have to get into them and control them to attack the.
And then you get victory or like.
No, basically it's just a thing that's sent in just to like help you out if your team's losing by a large margin.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So what does zeppelins do then? Drop bombs?
Drop bombs, AA guns, MGs, all that kind of stuff, and obviously all of them can help you capture objectives quicker as well.
Right.
In like conquest.
Yeah.
And
So
stuff.
like the main modes, I assume sort of like just like domination, like capturing.
You've got conquest, rush, and operations, which are your 3 main modes in Battlefield.
That's not many.
If there is more, you got team deathmatch for war pigeons and all that kind of stuff. War pigeons is a bit of a throwaway gimmicky mode where it's like capture the flag but with a pigeon instead.
I think flag still would have made more sense than that, but yeah, okay.
Team deathmatch, it's in there, but it doesn't really fit a Battlefield game in my opinion. So I've not really touched it.
That's interesting.
And domination is basically just infantry-based conquest with no vehicles. Basically, is what it is. But conquest is your meat and bones. It's a classic Battlefield. Everyone knows what conquest is. It's still fantastic.
So what is it?
It's basically set number of points on a map, set from A to G. You go and capture the points, hold the points for as long as you can. First person to hit 3,000 points wins, basically. Still a fantastic mode. It's probably where most people spend the majority of their time in the game still. Rush is one that I was left a bit disappointed with. It's made it relatively intact if you enjoy it, but as someone who really enjoyed it before, I just don't get into it as much in Battlefield 1 for some reason. I don't really know why.
Yeah.
But Operations mode, which is basically like a combination of the two, where like in Rush, you go up, you blow up 2 objectives, move up a sector, blow up 2 objectives, move up a sector. It's now capture 2 to 3 objectives, move up a sector, capture 2 of it. It's Conquest and Rush joined together. Yeah, sure. But it's set over a series of maps. So you'll do like the Kaiserschlag operation. It's set over St. Quentin Scar and Amiens. And it's a really immersive mode. It just makes you feel like you are part of a full-scale war. Yeah. And it's definitely my favourite mode. If you're going to play Battlefield 1 online, play Operations as much as you can. Okay. Because that's the mode that's going to make you stay up till 2 a.m.
Yeah, so it's keeping you up. It's exciting. It's bringing you back to your old days of gaming online. So that's a great sign, obviously. Everything's holding up in terms of server and the graphics look great. 64 players?
64 players or 40, depending on how many you want to play. If you can pick and choose. Obviously, I'll pick 64, as that's the way it's made to be
really
played.
Fun, yeah.
The only real problem with the online is the progression system. It's a bit skewed in places. Basically, like between class ranks 4, 5-ish to 10, you unlock nothing until rank 10, which is a bit weird. Like, it does feel like DICE could have peppered a few more unlocks throughout there. However, it wasn't something I noticed until someone actually pointed it out to me. So whether or not that affects you obviously comes down to personal taste, but it didn't affect me too much until I actually noticed it, until someone pointed it out to me. So,
but that is a flaw.
Yeah, it's a flaw. Obviously, it's going to be fixed in DLC, which is a major shame, but...
Yeah, sure. Okay. So, so would you recommend it to, to anyone, really?
Yeah, 100%. Like, if you're someone who hasn't played Battlefield before, or even if you're someone who's played every Battlefield, this is one that you should definitely pick up. I think it's DICE's best one since, overall best one since 3, and your best story mode since Bad Company 2, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
100% would recommend it. If we did scores on Redbrick, I'd probably give it a 9 or a 10 out of 10 kind of game. It's a game.
I think a 9 probably, because it has flaws.
Yeah. It's not a perfect game, but no game is perfect. I
don't know. No, we'll get back to it.
But yeah, fantastic game, and I can't gush about it enough, if I'm honest.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's been Redbrick Gaming's review of Battlefield 1. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time, guys. See you later.
See ya.